The message came on a Tuesday morning. All across Earth, screens flickered with the same image. A tall, gray being with 4 eyes and skin that looked like stone. This was how humanity met the Vaxnor. Commander Elizabeth Warren was eating breakfast when her phone rang. 20 minutes later, she sat in the United Earth Defense Force headquarters, watching the alien message replay. "People of Earth," the alien said in perfect English, "we are the Vaxnor Confederation. We have observed your world and wish to establish peaceful relations." The room was quiet. General Kevin Moore rubbed his chin. "They learned our language. They'd been watching us for some time." Elizabeth nodded. "Sir, I think we should respond carefully." Within hours, Elizabeth led a team to craft Earth's first message to another species. They worked day and night, checking every word. They wanted to seem friendly but not weak. The Vaxnor replied quickly. They wanted to meet. They suggested a space station where humans and Vaxnor could talk face to face. Senior Admiral Paul Dixon didn't trust them. "They're too eager," he told Elizabeth. "But we can't ignore the first aliens we've ever met." The meeting was set for 1 month later. Earth scrambled to prepare. Nations that had fought for centuries now worked together. Everyone understood that this was bigger than old fights. Elizabeth was chosen to lead the diplomatic team. As her shuttle approached the meeting point, she saw the Vaxnor ship for the first time. It was huge, shaped like a dark blue diamond, smooth and perfect. "It's at least 5 times bigger than our largest vessel," said Captain Ben Miller, who piloted the shuttle. The meeting space looked like a hotel conference room, except for the strange blue light and the air that smelled like metal. The Vaxnor representative, who called himself Speaker Zelkav, towered over Elizabeth. His 4 eyes blinked in different patterns. "We welcome you to Galactic Society," Zelkav said. His mouth didn't move when he spoke. The words just appeared in Elizabeth's mind. "Your species has potential." The talks seemed to go well at first. The Vaxnor offered technology and knowledge. But each day, their demands grew. "We require mining rights to your lunar surface," Zelkav said on the 3rd day. "We need permission to establish bases on Earth," he said on the 5th day. By the 10th day, Elizabeth was concerned. "They want too much control," she told Admiral Dixon over a secure line. "And they act like we should be grateful." On the 12th day, Zelkav revealed the truth. "Your species will serve the Confederation," he said. "Your resources and labor belong to us now. This is an honor. Many species would pay greatly for our protection." Elizabeth kept her face calm, though anger burned inside her. "My people value their freedom. We won't surrender it, even for advanced technology." The 4 eyes blinked fast. "You misunderstand. This is not a negotiation. We have claimed thousands of worlds. Your weapons cannot harm our ships. Your choices are to accept our rule or face extinction." Elizabeth asked for time to speak with Earth's leaders. In the emergency meeting that followed, nations argued. Some wanted to give in. Others wanted to fight. Admiral Dixon listened to everyone. Then he spoke, his voice quiet but firm. "Throughout human history, there comes a point when talking ends, when one side demands slavery. There's nothing left to discuss." He turned to the communication screen where Zelkav waited. "We're done talking." The alien made a sound like rocks sliding together. "You choose extinction, then. Typical of primitive minds. Your silence means nothing. We will arrive in 1 Earth month. Prepare your surrender." The screen went black. The room was so quiet that Elizabeth could hear people breathing. "They think we're giving up," she said. "They don't understand what it means when humans say we're done talking." Admiral Dixon nodded. "Then we'll have to show them." The next day, Earth changed. The arguments between nations stopped. The old fights were set aside. Something more important had taken their place. Captain Gregory Howard stood on the bridge of the UES Dauntless, watching as ships from Russia, China, and Europe joined the growing fleet. Never before had so many military vessels gathered under a single purpose. "Quite a sight, isn't it?" said First Officer Linda Reyes. Yesterday, some of these ships were pointing guns at each other. Gregory nodded. Nothing unites humans like a common enemy. Below them, Earth was just as busy. Factories that once made cars now produced weapon parts. Scientists shared secrets they had kept for decades. Soldiers who spoke different languages trained together. In a secret lab under the Rocky Mountains, Lieutenant Maria Sanchez studied videos of the Vaxinor ship. "Look at the way their hull reflects our scanning beams," she said to her team. "They use some kind of energy field, not physical armor." Maria had been a physics teacher before the aliens came. Now she led a team trying to find ways to fight an enemy with technology hundreds of years ahead of Earth's. "What if we don't try to punch through their shields?" said young engineer Daniel Wright. "What if we find a way to disrupt them instead?" Maria smiled. "That's exactly what I was thinking." The Vaxinor sent messages every day. They mocked Earth's silence. They described how easy it would be to destroy human cities. They didn't understand why Earth didn't beg for mercy. "They still think we're giving up," Elizabeth Warren told Admiral Dixon. "They'd expect us to be scared." Admiral Dixon watched a simulation of Earth's defense plan. "Good. Let them think that." On the military training grounds in Nevada, soldiers tested new weapons based on Maria's research. The guns fired pulses of energy tuned to the exact frequency of Vaxinor shields. In tests, they made the shields flicker and weaken. Captain Howard recorded everything in his daily log. Day 18 of preparation. "Our fleet grows stronger. Weapons testing shows promise. But will it be enough? The Vaxinor have conquered thousands of worlds. We have 1 month to prepare for an enemy no one has ever defeated." At the United Nations building in New York, leaders created a new unified government. Old enemies signed treaties. Rich nations shared resources with poor ones. It wasn't perfect, but it was more cooperation than humanity had ever managed before. "We should have met aliens years ago," joked President Laura Johnson, as she signed the Earth Defense Pact. In orbit, construction ships built defense platforms around Earth. Each one held weapons designed by Maria's team. The workers didn't sleep much. They knew what was coming. "We can't match their numbers," Gregory told his crew as they ran battle drills. "But we can surprise them. They think we're primitive. They don't expect us to fight well." Meanwhile, Communications Officer Ryan Evans made an important discovery. He found a way to listen to Vaxinor transmissions. "They're so confident they don't even encrypt their messages," Ryan told Elizabeth. "They're telling their fleet exactly where they'll arrive and how they'll attack." Elizabeth brought this information to Admiral Dixon. This could change everything. Admiral Dixon studied the Vaxinor battle plans. "Yes, we'll be ready for them now." As the days passed, Earth's silence confused the Vaxinor. Speaker Zelkav sent angry messages demanding answers. The aliens couldn't understand why humans weren't begging for terms or trying to negotiate. Day 29, Captain Howard wrote in his log. "Tomorrow they arrive. Our ships are in position. Our weapons are ready. Earth has never been so united or so prepared." He looked out at the stars where the enemy would soon appear. "The Vaxinor don't understand humans. When we stop talking, we start acting. And they have no idea what we've been doing during this quiet month." Commander Elizabeth Warren stood before the Earth Defense Council with a bold plan. "The Vaxinor think we're weak and scared," she said. "Let's make them believe it even more." The room grew quiet as she explained her idea. Earth would appear to be in chaos when the Vaxinor arrived. Some ships would run. Others would seem unprepared. It would all be fake. "A trap," said Admiral Dixon with a small smile. "They'll lower their guard if they think we're panicking." Not everyone liked the plan. General Judy Harris worried it was too risky. What if they attack civilian areas while we're pretending to be disorganized? Elizabeth had an answer. "We'll have hidden defenses around all major cities, but the Vaxinor need to believe they're facing an easy victory." Meanwhile, Ryan Evans continued to listen to Vaxinor communications. He learned more about their invasion plan. They would send smaller ships first to test Earth's defenses. Then their main fleet would attack. "They're so confident," Ryan told Elizabeth. "They talk about us like we're animals." In her laboratory, science officer Olivia Peterson made an important discovery. She had been studying the few biological samples they had from the Vaxnor. "Their cells are different from ours," she explained to Dr. Nathan Collins. "They can't process certain chemicals that are harmless to humans." Dr. Collins was interested immediately. "Could we use this as a weapon?" Olivia nodded. "I think so. As a last resort." Dr. Collins began working on a biological deterrent. He didn't like the idea of such a weapon, but he understood what was at stake. If the Vaxnor won, humanity would become slaves or worse. "This isn't just about survival," he told his team. "It's about staying free." As the final day approached, Earth's forces moved into position. Some ships hid behind the moon. Others pretended to have mechanical problems. Ground forces were hidden underground or disguised as civilian buildings. Captain Gregory Howard received special orders. His ship, the Dauntless, would act as if it was trying to run away from Earth. In reality, it would be carrying some of Maria's most powerful new weapons. "We'll look like cowards," said Linda Rice with a frown. "Yes," Gregory agreed, "until the moment we turn and fight." Early in the morning on the 30th day, the sensors picked up the first signs. The Vaxnor fleet had arrived at the edge of the solar system. "They're here," Elizabeth said to Admiral Dixon. 300 ships, just as we expected." The first message came from the largest Vaxnor ship. A new face appeared on the screens. This alien was bigger than Zelkav, with 6 eyes instead of 4. "I am High Commander Zextar of the Vaxnor Confederation," the alien said. "Your time is up. Surrender your world or face destruction." As practiced, Earth did not respond. Instead, they activated the first part of Elizabeth's plan. Fake emergency broadcasts were sent out on channels the Vaxnor could hear. They made it sound like Earth's governments were fighting each other instead of preparing for the aliens. Zextar sent another message. "Your silence and disorder confirm what we already knew. You are a primitive species, unworthy of respect. We will now demonstrate our power." 5 Vaxnor ships moved toward Earth's moon, where humans had built a small colony. They fired bright green beams that cut through the rocky surface. The colony was empty. Earth had evacuated it weeks ago, but the Vaxnor didn't know that. "They took the bait," Elizabeth said as she watched from Earth Command. "They think they're scaring us by attacking the moon base." Admiral Dixon nodded. "Let them think they have the advantage." He turned to his communications officer. "Send the coded signal to all ships. Operation Deception has begun." All across Earth and space, human forces prepared to spring their trap. The Vaxnor invasion fleet moved closer to Earth. Their ships formed a wide circle around the planet. The main ship, carrying High Commander Zextar, stayed in the middle of their formation. "They think they have us surrounded," Colonel Frank Rivera said as he watched from his stealth ship. His vessel was one of 50 that Earth had hidden using new technology. The Vaxnor sensors couldn't see them. Frank's orders were clear. Wait until the aliens were fully committed to their attack, then strike from behind. On Earth, people waited in underground shelters. They watched screens showing the alien ships. Many were scared, but they trusted the plan. Zextar sent another message to Earth. "Your silence is pathetic. We see your ships trying to flee. We see your leaders hiding. Now witness our power." 10 Vaxnor ships fired on Earth's visible defense platforms. The green beams destroyed 3 platforms immediately. What the aliens didn't know was that the platforms were mostly empty shells. The real weapons were hidden elsewhere. "They're taking the bait," Elizabeth Warren said to Admiral Dixon. "They think our defenses are failing." On the UES Dauntless, Captain Gregory Howard received the signal to begin his part of the plan. His ship had been drifting away from Earth, pretending to run away. Now he ordered a full stop. "Turn us around," he told Linda Reyes. "Power up all weapons. Let's show them what this ship can really do." The Dauntless spun around and accelerated toward the nearest Vaxanor vessel. The alien ship didn't react immediately. Its commanders were confused by the human ship's strange behavior. "Fire when ready," Gregory ordered. The Dauntless released a pulse of energy designed by Maria Sanchez. It hit the Vaxanor shield and seemed to sink into it. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the alien shield flickered and died. "Direct hit with standard weapons," Linda reported. "Their ship is damaged." All across the battlefield, human ships that had been hiding or pretending to retreat suddenly attacked. The Vaxanor were caught by surprise. Their perfect formation broke apart as they tried to respond to threats coming from all directions. Colonel Rivera's stealth ships revealed themselves behind the alien fleet. They fired on the engines of the largest Vaxanor vessels, disabling several before the aliens could react. "The humans are fighting back," Zextar said to his officers. "How can this be? Their weapons should not harm our ships." On one of the damaged Vaxanor ships, Lieutenant Commander Sofia Martinez led the first boarding party. Her team wore special suits designed to protect them from the alien environment. They cut through the hull and entered the ship. "Stay together," Sofia told her soldiers. "Remember your training." They moved through strange corridors with walls that seemed alive. They met Vaxanor soldiers who were taller and stronger than humans, but the aliens weren't prepared for close combat. They fought poorly in small spaces. Sofia's team reached the ship's control room. They secured it and began downloading the alien computer systems. This information would be valuable for the next phase of the battle. Not all human ships were successful. The Vaxanor recovered from their initial surprise and fought back hard. 3 Earth vessels were completely destroyed. Several others were badly damaged. At Earth Command, reports came in from all parts of the battle. Elizabeth read them with a mix of hope and sadness. The plan was working, but people were dying. "The Vaxanor fleet is pulling back," an officer reported. "They're regrouping near the moon." Admiral Dixon nodded. "They didn't expect us to fight so effectively. They need time to rethink their approach." "We've hurt them," Elizabeth said, "but they still have many more ships than we do." "Yes," the Admiral agreed. "But now they know this won't be easy, and we've captured one of their vessels. That's a victory they never anticipated." The first battle was over. Earth had survived. And for the first time, the Vaxanor felt fear. 3 days after the first battle, Earth received a strange message. It didn't come from the Vaxanor. It came from another alien species. "We are the Talari," said a slender blue figure on the screen. "We have watched your fight against the Vaxanor with great interest. No one has ever stood against them so well." Elizabeth Warren and Admiral Dixon exchanged surprised looks. The existence of other alien species was both exciting and concerning. "Why are you contacting us now?" Elizabeth asked. The Talari speaker tilted its head. "Because you might win. And if you do, we want to be your friends, not your enemies." The Talari explained that their world had been conquered by the Vaxanor 50 years ago. They were forced to work in mines and factories. Many other species across the galaxy shared the same fate. "The Vaxanor are bullies who prey on worlds that cannot defend themselves," the Talari said. "But they have never faced a species that fought back as effectively as humans." Ambassador William Peterson was chosen to negotiate with the Talari. He was an older man who had spent his life working for peace between nations. Now he would work for peace between worlds. "We welcome your friendship," William told the Talari. "But we need more than words. We need help against the Vaxanor." The Talari agreed. They sent information about Vaxanor weaknesses. They explained how the alien ships worked and how their weapons systems could be disrupted. Meanwhile, Intelligence Officer Samantha Kelly studied the data from the captured Vaxanor ship. What she found shocked her. "The Vaxanor have destroyed entire species," she reported to Elizabeth. "Worlds that refused to surrender were completely wiped out. They've done this 17 times in the last century. This information made Earth's fight even more important. It wasn't just about saving their own world. It was about stopping the Vaxnor from destroying more innocent lives. The Talari sent engineers to help Earth adapt their technology. Chief Engineer Alan Jackson worked with them day and night to improve Earth's defenses. Their tech is amazing, Alan told Elizabeth as they tested a new shield system. But they never thought to use it for defense. The Vaxnor kept them so afraid that they only used their knowledge to build things for their masters. 7 days after the first message, a small Talari fleet arrived at Earth. They brought weapons and supplies. More importantly, they brought hope. Humans were not fighting alone anymore. "Our ships are few," said the Talari commander. "But we know the Vaxnor tactics. We can help you predict their next move." The Talari were right. The Vaxnor fleet had moved to the dark side of the moon to repair their ships and plan a new attack. They didn't know about the Talari alliance yet. Zextar was angry. The easy victory he had expected had not happened. Now he had to explain to the Confederation why a primitive world was causing so much trouble. The humans used trickery, he told the Confederation Council over a secure channel. They pretended to be weak. It will not work again. Our next attack will crush them completely. The Confederation ordered him to offer Earth one last chance to surrender. Humans were stronger than expected, but surely they would give up when faced with the full might of the Vaxnor fleet. Zextar sent the message to Earth. "Your resistance was impressive but futile. We now bring our full strength against you. Surrender immediately, and most of your people will be spared. Continue to fight, and your world will become a barren rock." The message was received at Earth Command. Everyone looked at Admiral Dixon. "They still don't understand us," he said quietly. "They think we fight only when we can win." He turned to the communications officer. "Send our reply." Just 3 words. Everyone knew what those words would be. The message went out to the Vaxnor fleet. "We're still talking." No, that wasn't right. The Admiral shook his head and corrected himself. "We're still done talking." Zextar was furious when he received Earth's message. He slammed his 4-fingered hand against the control panel of his ship. "They mock us again with their silence and simple words," he told his officers. "Prepare all ships for the final attack." But Admiral Dixon had no plans to wait for the Vaxnor to attack. With help from the Talari, Earth had learned about the alien supply lines. The Vaxnor fleet needed special fuel and resources that came from deeper in the solar system. "If we cut off their supplies, they'll be weakened," Dixon explained to the Earth Defense Council. "We hit them before they hit us." The plan was risky. Earth would send half its fleet to attack the Vaxnor supply ships. If they failed, Earth would be less protected for the main battle. Captain Gregory Howard and the UES Dauntless would lead the attack. His ship had been upgraded with Talari technology. It was faster and stronger than before. "This mission is critical," Gregory told his crew. "We need to destroy those supply ships before they reach the main Vaxnor fleet." The Earth ships traveled quietly through space, using stealth technology to avoid detection. They found the Vaxnor supply convoy near the planet Jupiter. 10 large ships carried fuel and weapons for the invasion fleet. "They only have a small guard," Linda Rice reported. 5 warships. Gregory smiled. "They still think we're hiding on Earth, waiting for them to attack." The Dauntless attacked first, targeting the largest supply ship. Their weapons cut through the alien shields using the frequency Maria Sanchez had discovered. The supply ship exploded in a ball of green fire. The Vaxnor guards were caught by surprise. They tried to protect the remaining supply ships, but Earth's fleet attacked from multiple directions. The battle was short but intense. Meanwhile, a special mission was underway elsewhere. Major Lisa Rodriguez led a team of soldiers toward a Vaxnor communications hub orbiting Mars. The aliens used this station to coordinate their fleet movements. "Remember, we need to capture it intact," Lisa told her team as their small ship approached the hub. "We don't just want to destroy it. We want to use it. Lisa's team wore special suits that made them look like Vaxinor from a distance. They docked at the hub and entered as if they belonged there. The real Vaxinor didn't suspect anything until it was too late. The human soldiers moved quickly through the station, using stun weapons designed with Talari help. They disabled the alien workers without killing them. Control room secure, Lisa reported back to Earth Command. We've taken the hub. This was a major victory. Now Earth could listen to all Vaxinor communications and even send fake orders to confuse the enemy fleet. Back at Jupiter, the supply ship battle was ending. 8 of the 10 Vaxinor ships had been destroyed. The remaining 2 fled back toward Vaxinor territory. Let them go, Gregory ordered when his weapons officer wanted to pursue. They'll carry the news of our attack back to their leaders. The Dauntless had been damaged in the fight. 2 other Earth ships had been destroyed. But the mission was a success. Without supplies, the Vaxinor invasion fleet would be weaker for the coming battle. On his command ship, Zextar received the news of the supply convoy's destruction. At the same time, he lost contact with the communications hub. Impossible, he said. How could they strike so far from their world? How could they know about our supply ships? For the first time, Zextar felt real fear. The humans were not behaving like any species the Vaxinor had conquered before. They didn't wait to be attacked. They didn't follow the expected patterns. Zextar sent an urgent message to the Confederation Council. The humans are more dangerous than we thought. We need reinforcements. The Council's response was not what he expected. Explain your failures, they demanded. How can primitives defeat our ships? Perhaps you are not fit to command. Zextar realized that his own position was now at risk. He had to defeat Earth quickly, or he would face punishment from his own people. Prepare for immediate attack, he ordered his fleet. No more delays. We will crush these humans once and for all. The Vaxinor fleet moved toward Earth in full force. Over 200 ships filled the space between the Moon and Earth. Their weapons were ready, their soldiers prepared to land on the planet below. Zextar spoke to his commanders one last time before the attack. No mercy, he said. Destroy their major cities first. Break their will to fight. On Earth, people watched the alien ships grow closer on their screens. Many were afraid, but they trusted their leaders and military. The shelters were full. The defense systems were ready. Commander Elizabeth Warren stood in Earth Command, looking at the tactical display. This is it, she said to Admiral Dixon. The moment we've prepared for. The Admiral nodded. Signal all ships and defense platforms. Execute Plan Thunderbolt. All across Earth, hidden weapons platforms revealed themselves. They had been disguised as buildings, mountains, even parts of the ocean. Now they rose up, pointing at the sky. The Vaxinor ships fired first. Green beams struck Earth's surface, hitting New York, London, Beijing, and other major cities. But instead of destruction, the beams met invisible shields. The shields are holding, reported a technician. Talari technology is working. The aliens were confused. Their weapons should have destroyed the cities easily. They fired again with more power, but the shields continued to protect Earth's population centers. Now it was Earth's turn to attack. The weapons platforms fired Maria Sanchez's special energy pulses. They hit the Vaxinor ships, disrupting their shields. Then regular weapons fired, causing real damage to the alien vessels. In space, Earth's fleet engaged the Vaxinor from behind. Captain Howard and the Dauntless led the attack, focusing on the enemy's rear ships. They didn't expect us to have so many ships in reserve, Gregory said as he watched the battle unfold. They thought they knew all our forces. Angry and desperate, Zextar ordered his ships to land troops on Earth. If they couldn't destroy the humans from orbit, they would conquer the planet on the ground. Thousands of Vaxinor soldiers landed in small ships. They were big and strong, with advanced weapons and armor, but they faced a surprise when they landed. Dr. Nathan Collins had completed his biological deterrent. It was a harmless gas to humans, but caused the Vaxinor to become weak and confused. The gas was released wherever the aliens landed. "It's working," Dr. Collins told Commander Warren as they watched the alien soldiers stumble and fall. "They can't fight effectively." Earth's ground forces engaged the weakened Vaxinor troops. The fighting was still difficult, but humans had the advantage for once. In orbit, the battle continued. The Vaxinor still had more ships, but they were losing their coordination. The fake orders sent from the captured communications hub confused them. Some ships fired on their own allies by mistake. "We're winning," Elizabeth said with surprise in her voice. Admiral Dixon shook his head. "Not yet. Look." He pointed at the tactical display. A large group of Vaxinor ships had broken through Earth's defenses. They were heading for the command center. "Evacuate all non-essential personnel," Dixon ordered. "Prepare for impact." Elizabeth refused to leave. "I'm staying," she said. "This is my post." The Vaxinor ships came closer, their weapons charged for a final attack on Earth Command. It seemed like the moment of defeat had arrived. Then something unexpected happened. New ships appeared suddenly, surrounding the Vaxinor attackers. They were not human or Talari ships. They had a different design. "We are the Mrilan," came a message on all channels. "We stand with Earth against the Vaxinor oppressors." The Mrilan ships attacked the Vaxinor with weapons more advanced than anything humans had seen. The alien breakthrough was stopped instantly. On his command ship, Zextar received more bad news. "The Yeelar have revolted in Sector 7, his officer reported. The Cassine in Sector 3 also. They say they are inspired by the humans." Zextar stared at the battle reports in disbelief. Not only was he losing this fight, but the entire Confederation was beginning to break apart. "Request all available reinforcements," he ordered desperately. "We cannot lose this world." 3 days later, the battle for Earth was over. The Vaxinor fleet was broken. Half their ships had been destroyed. The rest were damaged or surrounded by Earth, Talari, and Mrilan vessels. Zextar's command ship was one of the last still fighting. He refused to surrender even when his officers begged him to stop. "The Confederation does not lose to primitives," he insisted, even as his ship shook from another hit. Admiral Dixon led the final assault himself. His flagship, along with the Dauntless and 5 other ships, closed in on Zextar's vessel. "One last chance," Dixon sent to the alien commander. "Surrender now." Zextar's reply was a burst of weapons fire that barely missed the human ships. "Very well," Dixon said quietly. "All ships, focus fire on their engines and weapons. I want that ship disabled, not destroyed." The combined attack overwhelmed what was left of the Vaxinor shields. Precise hits disabled the alien vessel without destroying it completely. "Their weapons and engines are offline," reported an officer. "They're drifting." Dixon nodded. "Prepare boarding teams." But before the teams could launch, a new message came from the Vaxinor ship. It wasn't from Zextar. It was from the Vaxinor Confederation Council. "Humans of Earth," said an older Vaxinor with 8 eyes. "Zextar has been removed from command. We request immediate peace talks." The council member looked afraid. Reports were coming in from across the galaxy. Inspired by Earth's resistance, dozens of species had risen up against their Vaxinor masters. The once mighty Confederation was falling apart. Dixon didn't answer immediately. He looked at Elizabeth Warren, who had joined him on the flagship. "What do you think?" he asked. Elizabeth thought for a moment. "We should listen to what they offer, but we dictate the terms, not them." The peace talks took place on a neutral space station with representatives from Earth, the Talari, the Mrilan, and 6 other formerly subjugated species. The Vaxinor were no longer in a position to make demands. "Your confederation as you knew it is over," Ambassador William Peterson told them. "You will withdraw from all occupied worlds. You will pay for the damage you've caused." The Vaxinor delegates were shocked. They had never been spoken to this way before. "And if we refuse?" one asked. William smiled thinly. Then Earth and its allies will continue what we've started. Your choice. The Vaxnor chose peace. They signed the Treaty of Soul, ending their reign of terror in the galaxy. Their military was reduced, and their empire broken up. They would remain on their home worlds only. 6 months later, a grand ceremony was held on Earth. Representatives from 27 alien species gathered to form the Galactic Alliance, with Earth as a founding member. Commander Elizabeth Warren, now promoted to Admiral, watched with pride as the new Alliance flag was raised. "We've changed the galaxy," she said to Admiral Dixon. "All because we refused to surrender." Dixon nodded. "Humans have always been stubborn that way. When pushed too far, we stop talking and start acting." The phrase, "we're done talking," became famous throughout the galaxy. Other species used it in their own languages. It came to represent a line that should not be crossed, a warning that peaceful beings could become formidable when threatened. 1 year after the Vaxnor War, a new alien fleet appeared at the edge of the solar system. They sent aggressive messages, demanding Earth's submission. Admiral Dixon, now the head of Earth's defense forces, sent a single reply: "We're done talking." The alien fleet turned around and left immediately. Elizabeth laughed when she heard about it. "They've learned what those words mean." "Yes," Dixon agreed. "Sometimes the most powerful message is in what isn't said. The silence that follows those words tells our enemies everything they need to know." Across the galaxy, the story spread of the humans who defeated the mighty Vaxnor, of the species that turned the tide of history with their courage, their cleverness, and 4 simple words. And when human commanders said, "We're done talking," an eerie silence would fall as everyone remembered what happened to the last empire that ignored that warning.